headline because I really want it. Putin says that the al-Qaeda rebels are cannibals. So I want to give you the date when he said all that. But here is the Washington Post going over all of that, saying, was Putin right? And the U.S. set to launch airstrikes. See, they couldn't get airstrikes before with Congress to back al-Qaeda, so now they need airstrikes in Syria to stop al-Qaeda. And, of course, they'll probably bomb Assad forces. Last week they were saying Assad may be behind it. We need to bomb him and then let the good rebels take over, and then that will stop al-Qaeda. There it is. Why arm cannibal rebels in Syria? Putin asked. Sydney Morning Herald, June 17th, 2013, almost a year ago. We'll be back. Stay with us. I'm going to take your phone calls. Then I'm going to get into a bunch of other important news on Ferguson, Libya, and more.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we are proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of style and sizes for any occasion. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty Media outlets. Use promo code FREEDOM to receive a 15% discount at gusset.com. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it. Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge. Get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off super detox special at InfoWarsLife.com. In the near future. When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
Coast coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance, rallying patriots worldwide. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
All right, let's do this. I'm not going to jump into what's coming up because I'll never get to your calls, but I was thinking about al-Qaeda being turned loose. Remember, we overthrew Libya. It was pro-West now, working with the world. Now al-Qaeda, Bloomberg reports, is taking over the airport and the main government, set to take over the parliament. It'll be full al-Qaeda. Everyone who's not a radical will have their head chopped off. And every major analyst admits, such a mistake to go into Libya. Oh, it was a horrible thing. The plan was to destabilize. The plan was to make it a failed state, as they're now saying it's becoming. And you know, we're not just here to bash the police on this show, because if we do that, it plays into the globalist mindset, and then it's an us against them situation, and then they just basically join the globalist. But I've seen cases, we're going to show this coming up, where you yell at a police dog, you get multiple years in jail. Well, Wyoming cop charged with animal cruelty is a $750 fine after death of canine dog left for 5 hours in the hot squad car. Nix the dog died. But it's always just a PR thing where some bad guy will kick a police dog, so they give him 10 years in prison. It's just meant to say cops are God, dogs are people, citizens are trash. Of course, cops aren't important to the system unless they're fronting for it. Look at this man charged with assault for yelling at police dog. Reason.com. So yell at him, you go to jail. 10 years in prison for a canine cop. Unless you're a cop, then it's $750. Again, that's the essence of the animal farm tyranny, is when people in government aren't held to the same standards. Different rules for different folks. Everybody knows the dice is loaded. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Let's talk to Chris in Kentucky. Chris, thanks for calling. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, how you doing?
Good. Go ahead.
I tell you what, you're absolutely right about all this, Ferguson. This control of everything is going on out here, the mindset. When are people going to start manning up out here and get real and start getting information? We had, back in March of 2014, this specimen here in Louisville. You know what happened? You know, these people out here, these teenagers act up. Oh, they're going to raid the streets. They're tearing up the convenience stores. We had that in March 2000. Guess what? Mayor Fisher in Louisville, Kentucky, I'm going to say your name, buddy. You got federal ID cams with your digital information about you that everybody's terrorist. I am sick and tired of this country going down the drain. I'm sick of it, Alex, and these people are getting to be zombies out here. I'm so angry. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate your call. It's good to hear from you. It is bad. The borders are wide open while the NSA watches everything we do illegally. The TSA, it came out in public documents last week confirming that they let illegals fly without IDs. You can come in or leave the country. Oh, you're an illegal? You're Hispanic? You're above the law. Oh, we're going to make the schools go Spanish only now. Oh, red carpet, everything's free. Again, to drive down the wages. And then to make it if you're against open borders while you're against Hispanics. Well, I can't go to Mexico and get everything free. And I know a lot of the illegals are working very hard as well. The point is, our wages are going down. The country's collapsing. Latin America's collapsing. We can't take all these people. And then all these different racial groups are just played off against each other. Let's go back to the phone calls here. Rob. Rob is calling from FEMA Region 10. I guess that's the West Coast somewhere. Are you in Oregon or Washington or Idaho? What former state under FEMA are you calling us from?
Former state of Oregon, Alex. Always a pleasure to talk to you. It's to the point to the last caller, the zombies out there, and it's fantasy football time, and all the men, like you said, are sitting around tables. And here's a good analogy for them. Last year, when when the Broncos dang near ran the table, almost won the whole deal, fell apart in the Super Bowl, and everyone's crushed. 2 weeks, they're devastated. What if you found out that Peyton Manning actually played on the other team? And that's the analogy to what's going on here in the U.S.
Yes. The sports and all of it is deployed to where you've got the owners, and you've got the generals that are the coaches, and you've got it's all tribal garbage designed to manipulate people, and it's worked great. The average man is not a man. All they care about is the fantasy world of sports, while the globalists literally take the world away from them. That's how the men of the West had their huevos chopped off. And I'm telling you, the average American, if you told them you can't watch football unless you go in and have surgery and have your testicles cut off, and I'm not joking, they would go and have them chopped off because they don't care about their wives, their kids, nothing. They care about the fantasy of watching men on TV in simulated combat. But they don't count. The globalists did all that to make them spectators and not exist and be nobodies. Just ignore them, let them giggle at us and wear their sports jerseys. We need to move on to find real men that care. There's a lot more of us than there are on the globalist side. And again, I'm not putting you down if you have a sports cap or a jersey. If it's your God, if you worship it, if it's all you care about, if you're not involved in other issues, it's just pathetic. It's like people that are into hip-hop gangster rap. I mean, literally deployed by the psych warfare generals. You are chumps. You are fools. You are idiots. Anything else, Rob?
Yeah, it's just the analogy can be used to maybe wake up that side of it. And that's the one thing that might get them emotionally involved in this. Like, imagine how you felt there. This is real life. And
well, there is hope. There is hope because Helen Keller couldn't speak or hear. And she could be taught to, write very interesting books. But they've got to want to come out of the trance. They've got to want to come out of it. And a lot of them never will. No matter when things collapse, they won't care. They'll serve the other side. It's what they do. Sherry in Texas, go ahead. Thanks for holding.
Thank you, Alex. Listen, it's been said that totalitarianism expresses itself anonymously through the corporate state, but I can think of a couple other incidences where it expresses itself, and one of them is the police, this militia-like method of operation where they have to take away the documentation or not allow it. I know there was a little gal on 24 Action News that said she had a little ponytail, pom-pom ponytail, and she said, I had a picture. I was videotaping Michael Brown and his friend walking across the street when the police car drove up, and they took away my camera. They took away my cell phone, rather. And I felt just a sinking feeling inside. That's the damage control. And then
Sure. And again, the local cops don't know it, but it was allowed to go as bad as possible to beta test martial law, even though all this footage showed the cop told the truth. The evidence is leaning that direction big time. They didn't release any of it because the feds told them not to. And the feds gave them the tanks and the armored vehicles and the training. And then Obama comes and says, I'm going to investigate militarization of police. That's like Al Capone saying, I'm going to investigate the Chicago Mafia. Or Hitler saying he's going to investigate the Nazi Party. So, yes, they attacked our reporters. They attacked other reporters. It was a horrible display, and it was all contrived by the globalists.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was